Hey guys, welcome back to Myluxelab. You know, the first time I went to Restoration Hardware, I immediately noticed the fusion of minimalist luxury while still using a lot of earthy artisan elements like woods and concrete. Especially as table centerpieces. Their massive planters and concrete decor bowls with moss give such a statement. So today I will show you how to create one of these bowls. As you can see, these are some of the prices that they go for at RH. So I made these concrete bowls for a fraction of that cost. With a couple items from Home Depot and the dollar store, you should be able to make this under $10. These are the ones that I created for my living room, and they're actually not that hard to make. It just takes a little bit of elbow grease. So these are the items that I used. I used the high strength concrete mix. And then I decided to try a different type as well. It's the Floor Preparation and Repair Feather Finish Repair Kit. I just decided to try this one just to see how it turned out. Now both kits, you will need to add water to the kit. You also need a couple weights. I use bricks. You need a couple bowls and a spoon. So the first one I decided to try was the feather finish. You're just going to add water to the concrete and you're going to mix it really well until you get a good pancake-like consistency batter. The feather finish definitely had a nice smooth texture, so you just want to set it in place. And what you're going to do is not fill it up all the way. You're going to really create a mold. You're using this bottom bowl, and then the top bowl, you're going to be using it to squish down the concrete. So you're kind of like sandwiching it between both of the bowls to create a mold. Now without some sort of weight, the bowl is going to pop back up. So I used brick to keep it down. Okay, so the very next morning, I was so excited to see how the bowl came out. So I removed the weights, both of the bricks that I had, which was kind of hard. And then immediately I noticed how stuck together the bowls were. So I knew I made a mistake. The first mistake I made was not using oil. It's kind of weird. It's almost like baking. I forgot to pre-grease my pan. So that makes a very big difference. So definitely make sure you do that. Off camera, I was able to pry it off. But another thing that happened is that unfortunately it broke into pieces, guys. Maybe I made the bowl too thin. I don't know. Okay, so back to the dollar store I go. I needed some more items to get because I was going to try it one more time. So I was able to find this beautiful bowl. Now just keep this in mind. The mold is going to take the shape of the inside of the bowl and not the outside. I'm going to explain what I mean later. Here are my items. This is what I'm using for my weights. So you're going to gather the same items, the bowls that you need for your mold. I use the concrete mix, the water, definitely the oil this time, trust me. You saw what happened last time. And I also used my spoon. You're gonna go ahead and pour the concrete inside the bowl. Now using the same exact steps as last time, you're going to take some water and mix it with your concrete. You're going to notice that the texture with the concrete is a lot more coarse of a texture. Now don't forget that oil, guys. You remember what happened last time. Make sure you grease your pan just like you're baking. Whatever areas that the concrete is going to be touching, that's the areas you're going to grease. So I'm doing the inside of the bowl right now because I'm going to be adding the concrete inside of this bowl. So you're gonna mix up your concrete and you're gonna go ahead and pour it inside of the bowl. I just ended up using olive oil, but really I think any type of oil would work here. As you can see, I had to add a little bit more concrete just to create a little bit more, and then it got a little bit dry, so I had to add a little bit of water. It's pretty simple. As soon as you realize that you need more, it's literally just concrete and water. Make sure you pour it into the bowl. And then the same concept, you're gonna go ahead and take the bowl with the weights. Make sure you grease that one too. Okay, again, that side is touching the concrete. And then you're gonna go ahead and put in your weights, which here were my little stones. So now both sides have the oil. Okay, so this is the very next day. I was so excited to see how it came out because I knew that I used oil and I knew that I used a different type of concrete. So I was super excited. I was like, there's no way that this is going to not work. There's just no way. Because honestly, after this, I was just going to give up and buy one, you guys. I'm not even going to lie to you. I was over it at this point. Gently take out your weights. And as you can see, this time it's going to completely just pop out. Oh my God, the oil worked and I was so happy. I was just like, oh my goodness, it actually meant something. And this part, it just popped out as well, which I was so happy. Now I just want to explain something. You remember when I said that it takes the mold of the inside of the bowl and not the outside? Silly me, I really thought that this bowl was going to have that cute outer crinkled edge like the other bowl did, but little did I know it did not. It came out smooth, and then I realized that the inside of that crinkly bowl that I got from the dollar store, it was smooth, so it's not going to take shape of that. Just keep in mind whatever side the concrete touches, that is what creates that mold pattern. Unfortunately, it didn't exactly come out as cute like the outer shape that I had wanted. It came out smooth, but in any case, it worked. So again, just to make it make more sense, I decided to try it one more time because I really wanted that textured edge just to go on something. So what I did was I put the concrete on the outside of that bowl. Just keep in mind, whatever the concrete touches, that is the mold it's going to take. For some reason, I thought the other one was going to have that outer textured edge, but it did not. So I decided to use that textured edge on this one. And this is how it came out. Keep in mind that this bowl, this edge right here, is going to be on the inside of the bowl that I just made, as you could see. As you could see, the pattern on the inside, it's textured, but unfortunately, as you could see, there are some cracks in it, as well as it looks a little uneven, so it didn't exactly come out good. So I decided to not pop it out because it didn't seem like it was fully dry. You notice how it's like cracking, so I decided to just leave it. So I hope you understand what I mean about the pattern shape of the mold. So back to the other bowls that I made. This is how I styled them. So this one I made a couple years ago, actually. I did the same steps, and this is how it came out. I just styled it with some moss, just how it is in Restoration Hardware. Super cute. You could put all different types of things inside of it. It doesn't just have to be moss. You could put a candle. I've seen people put candles inside. I haven't got that far yet. But you can put moss, you can put stones. But I just love how like concrete has such an earthy look. Like, look at the texture. Even though it looks like it kind of like messed up and there's like holes and stuff, for some reason I like it like that. It's kind of weird, but it's very earthy to me, and I think it came out pretty nice. Because if you look at the ones at Restoration Hardware, they kind of have that same earthy look. And this is how the other one came out. Kind of the same. It's a little bit of a more beigey color. It came out a lot thicker, I realized. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize how much concrete I put inside, but it came out a lot thicker. But honestly, literally, you guys, this is what you'd be paying for at Restoration Hardware. It's the same thing. And I styled it with some stones inside, and that's that. It took about a day to dry. And here they are styled with some moss balls. You can also put moss balls in them. This is pretty cute. And this is how they look in my living room. It was a little tricky to make it work, but I think it was worth it. So if you guys like what you see, please subscribe and follow for more.